Gylfi Masterworks line. These are, for the most part, individually handmade, high-end studio scale models. They're made in the U.S. by a master modeler that used to be at Industrial Light and Magic. And as you can see, they're extremely detailed. And Star Trek is a very fruitful property when it comes to beautiful ships. So this is the Refit Enterprise from Star Trek The Motion Picture. And this is the USS Reliant from Star Trek The Wrath of Khan.
I've seen some models that I think were related.
Now, are these for sale or are they just for show?
Well, they can be ordered. Yes, they are for sale. And as I said, they're made to order. So it's a bit of a little short wait for them, but they can be purchased. But the prices reflect the fact that they're really, they're not products. They're works of art. This is the Enterprise G. If you haven't seen Picard, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's also the USS Titan. Not a Star Trek item, but we have E.T. spaceship. And even a little E.T. down there at the bottom on the ramp. To your left, this is the Phoenix. That is Ephraim Cochrane's first warp drive vessel from Star Trek First Contact. Over here is a studio scale yellow submarine. This technically is not part of the Masterworks line, but it sort of fits in nicely with it. Or displays well with it. Limited run of 200 pieces.
Oh, wow.
Kind of a flip.
And do you know how many you have left?
Yeah, I'd say a handful, 20 or 30, something like that. Enterprise E from also the debuted in Star Trek First Contact. It's a little larger scale. This is a 54-inch model. We have a couple of other ones that we didn't bring to the show. Up on the screen there is the Excelsior from Star Trek. Let's see, that one is from, don't tell me, Star Trek 6, then Discovery Country. And we also have the Enterprise D that was featured throughout Star Trek The Next Generation. But we only had so much room at the booth and wanted to display the newest models. This is a phaser rifle used in Star Trek First Contact, excuse me. Getting a little loopy near the end of the show here. It also featured in some of the later Star Trek series. And then we have a few Back to the Future items. A time circuit from the DeLorean.
Okay, so I heard about this one. You can set it to the date and time that you want?
Yes. Using these controls. Don't ask me how, because this is just the first prototype. And we just got it, and we wanted to bring it out to the show, but it's still in development. It'll be out sometime next year. What we do have, and it's fully realized, and I do know how to operate, is the flux capacitor, which is here. We have two versions. We have this base one, and we also have one comes with a signature plaque signed by Christopher Lloyd, who played Doc Brown in the movie.
Oh, wow.
So it's fun. Let me see if I can introduce it. When you hit 88 miles an hour, it does this. Tridents we made for Aquaman and for Black Manta from the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom movie. 7 feet long, solid metal, highly detailed with the Atlantean script. And now let me walk you around the other more Star Trek items. This is the dedication plaque from the Enterprise D from Star Trek The Next Generation. This is a phaser from Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Next to it is a tricorder, a medical tricorder from the Next Generation. That's an assault phaser from Star Trek 5 and 6, the original series films. Next to it is a Cobra head phaser, also from the Next Generation. That is Geordi's visor from Star Trek The Next Generation, next to Oddjob's hat from the Goldfinger. And a few other James Bond items as well. And if you have a particular interest in some, particular franchises, I'd be happy to show them to you. And then we're going to dabble next year in a few Klingon items too. It's a Klingon disruptor and a Klingon communicator. And these are items from our scaled replica line, which are smaller scale but still highly detailed replicas. At a lower price points. The dragon. It's King Viserys' crown, also Queen Rhaenyra's. And to the right you have Viserys' sword on top, Blackfire. And down below it, Daemon Targaryen's sword, Dark Sister. Below that, we have a Chris knife from Dune, the 1980s version. And to the right, a Battlestar Galactica Colonial Sidearm. And then down there, a few things that from Masters of the Universe. The Power Swords, the animated style, that's a steel sword. And that is a foam LARP sword for combat, a lot safer.
Okay, so it's all foam.
That one's all foam.
Oh, wow.
So kind of basically two versions of the same thing. And that's a Shira sword.
Yeah. So now it's just like trying to.
Have items from House of the Dragon, have they sold really well this show?
The Crown is selling pretty well. This has been on pre-order for a while. These have just begun up. We did things for Game of Thrones. We did very, very well with it. The replicas, we did replica crowns, we did plush, dragons, direwolf cubs. We did things like some novelty items like a Hand of the King bottle opener. They were wonderful. House of the Dragon is something which I think is a little slower burn. It's, the first season was a couple of years ago. And so people are it's just ramping up again as people start to find it again and get back into the story. Very complicated, a lot of names to follow. But yes, the enthusiasm is there. We've sold a lot of crowns. We have a lot of enthusiasm amongst fans for it. So I'm very excited about it and happy to be working on it.
And of all the replicas, which one has been your most popular for this show?
If you want to hold on a second, medical tricorder. People are very excited about the medical tricorder because you open it up and it does that. And it has an actual working screen in it, so you can change between different looks. And then it has a removable hand scanner, which is also, it had batteries in it before. Well, when the batteries are not dead, it is functional. Trust me on this one. We've been showing it off a lot at the show. Hold it.
Oh, that has some weight to it.
Yes, this is an all metal frame, and this is a machined aluminum scanner. So people are very excited about this one. It's up for pre-order now. So sorry about the thing not quite functioning. I should have checked it before I brought it out.
That's all right. And for pre-orders, do they go to factory.com?
Factorynt.com or factoryentertainment.com. Both of them work.